It came as a wish list from Brandon. Bridge number 10 is going to need to be replaced next year, whereas they are going to work on getting the Cume Bridge Fund back to where it's at. He just asked for $100,000 to assist in the replacement of Bridge 10. I think it's a $300,000 project, but I don't honestly remember.
That's about 10 things down. On the first page, I know what Tom's looking for. Cume Bridge is about a quarter of the way down.
Oh, okay. Good idea.
Yeah,
1135, Tom.
I got it, 656. They started here with 1.1. Now, do they get anything?
They will in the fall distribution. So what the money you see that they've brought in for the year, there where it says receipts,
309?
that's what they'll get out of, pretty close to that. That's a
For next year or for this year yet?
for this year yet.
So I guess he's gonna be, what, close to $1 million?
Yeah, 964. This year they spent 852.
They did 2 bridges this year instead of 1 bridge. Normally they just do 1 bridge a year, and he'd like to continue
There was
with
something
the
in the
2
paper
bridges.
about that.
That's a normal.
This is just goes
To
back to
do
that
two?
county
To
highway
do
thing.
2.
It just- I
Okay.
finally found it.
My only problem with this is, we've got Cume Bridge, we've got an account.
It hasn't gone in the hole yet.
Yeah, and just because we have CEDIT funds, and they would like to keep their Cume Bridge up, I don't think that's why we've got CEDIT.
I have to
George
agree with you.
said-
I know what you're saying, that a lot of
Georgia
times
said
that,
the same thing with the highway though. They're ending the year plus, but Don corrected me by saying we'd rather do roads. I mean, both those places have their own money.
But it's not, I look at bridges being a little different because we can use that money at roads. I mean, it's not,
You can't use a bridge money anywhere
Right,
but bridge.
right,
Not even for the wages for employees, we found that out.
right. That's my only concern, is just we're just opening it up and everybody's saying, well, I'd like to get a chunk of that. And it's not, if Cume Bridge was down, I'd agree with it.
you know, if you don't, I'm not out of turn, if you don't wanna do that, and you wanna sorta hide that $100,000, whatever it is asking, you can always up that indoor, outdoor, whatever you call it, you can have it, you can put it in there.
Onsite, offsite?
Offsite.
Outside,
Yeah.
just put, that, you got 250 in it, that, I don't know where you arrived at that figure, but it could be any figure. If you wanna put some more money in it, and wait till a later time when something comes up that you might need that for a bridge, you can go back in and pull it back out.
And I would say as far as requests, if we're looking at economic development, roads and bridges probably mean more to economic development than some of these other things.
That's very true,
Yeah, you're right.
very true.
But I still go back to the fact that Cume Bridge is still not underfunded.
I actually like Bill's idea. I mean, you know, maybe put another $100,000 onsite, offsite, and bring a request from there. If you leave it in here, you sort of say, well, we're gonna spend it. I mean, it's probably gonna happen. So
Kind of make a rainy day fund out of that, is what it amounts to. Do that.
You're asking us to be crooked.
No.
no, I don't think so, because
I
onsite,
think it's
offsite
well
doesn't.
legitimate.
It's not, well,
Now you
onsite,
put
offsite.
100,000 in one thing, knowing you're gonna take it out, put it in some, but,
Hey, you gotta come up with that magic number though, Tom.
I know.
Well, we've always done that, then you've got someplace in your commissioner's budget where you got money you don't intend to spend there.
well, you know you gotta pad it to come up with this amount to hit your 75, so where are you
Yeah,
gonna
we-
pad it?
Yeah, we actually are below where we have to be. So, we were before we ever got started with it. So,
But we've always traditionally, in every budget we can, everybody does it. Puts the money someplace that you really don't think I'm gonna spend that, but it's be there if I need it.
well, you know, I hear you, Bill, but in all of my years in EMS, I never, ever padded a budget. When I brought you a budget, that was a budget I needed to work with. I never said, well, let's put an extra couple thousand here or there. I never did that. I never did. And I don't think, I just don't know that we did that with the commissioner's budget this year. Does it get changed? Of course it does. Of course it does. What you think you
I
have a
don't know
need
that you
for,
deliberately
don't.
set out to deceive it, but,
No.
but it's,
no,
but on the
okay.
other hand, you know doggone well, in some
Okay.
cases, you're not gonna spend that money.
Well, we're on the last project, gentlemen.
All
And
I
I have no feel, so I don't.
So what did we decide on 11, I guess?
No, that is the last project.
Oh, okay.
That's the last,
Oh, I see,
I have a
okay.
couple questions. You took the sheriff's completely out of there, but I thought that he asked you to help with that whole big, I don't know what that thing is called,
The law.
the locking system, whatever, for,
But I think the council said that they were gonna take that out of.
Cube cap.
Cube cap.
Yep.
that's $156,000.
But that's what
I'm just telling you, that's what happened. And
Wow.
quite frankly, the sheriff got the same email everybody else got, so if he wanted out of CEDIT, where's it at? It's not in the
Yeah,
request.
that's true.
So I'm not gonna make up requests for him, so.
I think we may have been wrong as a council when we said we were gonna, how we were gonna do that, but that's beside the point.
You don't have the money.
You don't have the money,
So,
is
so,
what I'm
so
saying.
come
Right.
back and ask for
So-
CEDIT money.
Well, you put it someplace where it's not gonna get spent for a while. So, to me, like, again, maybe I'm right, but that, inside out, that's kind of a rainy day fund.
I understand.
But we can not particularly put that in, because we know totally we're well below our $70,000 to spend. We have the right, always have been, ever since the two gyms were on, we could adjust this if there was a need come up. For example, maybe we'll need another 100,000 in off-site building or plans. But we have the right, if you you remember EMS, we shipped that from, what was it, general back to CEDIT, and then back to general, and back to CEDIT 2 or 3 times.
Have so much money,
And
I think
we
should
could
do that.
always,
Never
if
put
the
it back.
money is there, and we know we're not going to reach our 70%, make that an addition,
Well, that,
if need to be. And I don't know, I guess we're just waiting on the day this goes down. Is there pre-planning that is definitely needs to be done in 2013?
Oh, that board, that control board? I can't answer it because that's sort of something that came up and something happened and
And I
I
agree
wiped
with
it out of my mind. I don't remember it.
The department head did not appear, did not get back with you. I would say, right now, we leave it out, but it could be added.
I think it could. I think it could. And I think we need to be flexible. As
Well, we
long as
have
we
to
don't
be, yeah.
overspend what we have.
I do
I think
too.
we
And
be
doing
flexible.
those things, talk about the devil.
That's-
But
Hey,
let's leave it
I got
out
your back.
with,
okay, I appreciate that.
mutual
Sure.
understanding, nothing in writing, but if they come and say that board went out,
Well, I know it's being replaced because they
you
hired
didn't write
Gotta
to replace it.
console.
Well, then let them find the money.
I think they're gonna come to you guys on it because
See,
they
right
don't have
now,
that much
it's
money.
being, the whole thing is being put together off-site.
Cause it can only be down one day.
So what they're doing is it's mostly computer. They're programming everything, getting everything together, and they're gonna bring it, like in a day's time, they're gonna
When
change
did you
everything.
find this?
Oh, I actually had been working with the sheriff on this for a while.
You were there, oh, you didn't come to the sheriff's department for the
I
risk
went there, I was
management.
joined you at the highway. Oh,
He
I
took
thought you
us
had-
in there and hold that board up and, I mean,
And the
it's a,
council, and the council's gonna go ahead and pay for it?
When
Yeah,
when he
3
approached the
bids.
council said that instead of using CEDIT funds, they thought it was proper to take it out of cum cap or rainy day. I think one of the two, they were gonna take that out of.
And it originally started at 100,000, now it's up to 156,000?
156. They've been, Sheriff
160,000.
Hodges has been asking for that locking system since I started to become an auditor, so that was 2010. So in the time that he asked for it till now, and he actually has to purchase it.
Now,
It's
let
from
me get this
SAS.
clear, did the council ask the chairman or the vice chairman to put this in CEDIT?
Nope.
So we are discussing today if it has to be in there, am I correct to catch me up on this? Cause I didn't know that,
I'm hearing this same time.
I knew
you're
it had to
hearing
be
this.
replaced,
So-
I'm not.
I mean, yes, me too, me too, me
But
too.
I didn't know this
But-
time schedule and it already is being built.
Well,
What?
the council and we were told how they were gonna do that, and the.
Yeah, I think so, and I think
I'm
I
like,
just,
yeah,
so I
we're
just
good.
said, okay, that's done,
You
and
talking
so.
about the locking system in the
Yeah,
jail?
yeah.
It's not here yet.
It's
No,
not.
it's completely assembled off-site.
It is.
And the only thing they have to do is when they bring it in, the actual locks on the jail cells, they have to make sure everything's working there with
It's one of these little wires that come off this
the
great big.
computer.
Well, it's in the process of being made.
The locking
But
system
the only
from
thing I know
SAS.
more about that is because I went over it and the sheriff had some information on that, and I looked at it and he told me what they were gonna do.
And the only reason I know about it is because the wrist day, he took us into that dark room in there in the thing and lifted it up and said, this is what they're working on.
I've seen it,
replacing."
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say I hadn't seen it, I just didn't know that.
Yeah, when we took
how
a
it
jail
was going
tour.
to be paid or when. Maybe it has a couple of years deferred payment.
I don't know. I frankly didn't know that it was in the process of being done.
Yeah, the council okayed it. I was at
They
the
did.
meeting that they
How
okayed it.
how did we decide we're gonna pay for it?
It was,
I would say cum cap or rainy day.
it was one of the two, because
Yeah,
I
that about
remember,
had to be.
yeah,
So in order to,
Well, let me assure you, everything is this, cause I don't go to council meetings, as you well know. But everything that's discussed there doesn't get discussed with us at
I
all times.
understand.
I'm not saying it needs to, that's their prerogative, they're the office. But this is news to me, but as long as council's gonna take it, or, Don, no problem. If that's something you know, but that we should look at, we better, we were talking about hiding 100,000, is what, so to speak, I didn't say that, but
No, not
100,000
hiding.
extra, not hiding, but 100,000 extra, in case we need it, we better add 200,000.
well,
Mr. Chairman, how do you feel about this? I'd like your,
Coming in on the last second discussions of it, recently, as somebody has been applying for something, when we make a motion with council, we've been designating which fund it's come out. So can we research back through the minutes and see if we designated which funds?
We
that-
know it's cum cap or a rainy day, it was not seated. But of the two, rainy day and cum cap, we know cum cap is very low right now
Mhm.
and will not be able to be changed because we didn't do the rate change reestablishment till next year. And with the ending balance of cum cap at, 30,000 and only projecting 168 to come in for the remaining year high, we're only looking at 200,000. If we spend out of cum cap 156 for this system,
half the shower rooms and stuff, you're gonna be.
if I can offer a suggestion in order to help maintain the integrity of the rainy day fund, pay for that out of CEDIT instead of rainy day, because we don't know what's gonna come along that will require some rainy day fund. We can't go to CEDIT.
so won't you have to go to council for that to?
You can put it in your CEDIT fund. Yeah, it'd have to come to council for approval of that thing. and that would not draw down the rainy day fund, which we can use for emergencies or whatever, which is what we've basically done with it before.
But the sheriff brought that to us, and we agreed to send it to council, or give a positive vote to council. And then after that, he brought it to council and there was nothing to do with us with CEDIT, because they agreed to pay through Q
Somewhere there needs to be minutes of that.
Yeah.
I can do it. I'll find the minutes and
Okay.
where we're actually gonna
I'm
pay
thinking
for
it was
it.
Cume Cap that it was
But
gonna be.
anyway,
part
from
of
the
it.
council standpoint, correct
are
me
the
if I'm
minutes
wrong, John,
posted when
we'd
we
rather
bring
you
that
put it
up?
on a CEDIT so we can keep the rainy
But we
day
can't
fund.
do a search engine on there.
Yes.
You'd have to
What'd
do
you
a
say?
search by minute
Well,
by
the
minute.
council, I'm sure, John and I both say,
Trying to say
would much
jail.
prefer you pay for that jail thing out of CEDIT, so that we don't draw down the rainy day fund. Maintain something in there
I
for
would
some
say
kind of
it's
emergency
about-
that comes up. Cause if we have an emergency, we can take it out of rainy day fund quicker and easier than you can go back and ask you guys to take it out of CEDIT.
And I hate to go back in past history, Mr. O, but I can remember when our CEDIT fund had about 6 or 7 projects in it. Now we're up, because we're doing everything, starting to buy trucks for the highways, starting to repair roofs and doing everything else, evidently gonna be a lock system. We're doing a lot of things as we discussed. Building repair and
Jenny.
putting CEDIT money in other
Go to my
areas.
office.
Now we're
and,
up to
like
10
where
or
it said,
11
look on the
projects.
left-hand side. There's a
And
folder
some of
that
them are
says
quite
SAS,
large.
Jail
And
projects.
my
Will
only
you bring that
comment
down to me,
is, and
please?
we
Okay,
sat
fine.
here and approved a CEDIT plan, and if this should be in it, we're gonna put it in it or we're not. And they sat there and they're 2/7 of the council, and they say, well, you're gonna have to put it in CEDIT, they need to.
Well, we don't have
take-
to, but we will prefer
Well,
to.
where you going?
Yeah, she's gonna bring it down.
That'd be
It's
just
written
like
right on the thing
EMS,
where we're
I
gonna pay
said,
it
we
out
had
of.
it in,
I just
we
try
had
to be
it
a lot
in
quicker.
CEDIT, when you said, well, I think we can handle that next year through general fund or something, so we put it, well, you come back and say, hey, I don't think we can do that, so we went back to CEDIT again and paying it.
Well,
Okay,
the
we're
nice thing
waiting,
about CEDIT is it provides a lot of flexibility.
we're waiting on information about that, okay, it'll be down here. So, could we please go back to project 11, because I'm not sure we didn't finish project 11, I need some guidance.
At this time, I would say scrap project 11.
I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
Okay,
Because I think we found out.
got her. All right, thanks, I just wanted to get what we had already
Good
done.
idea.
We know we may have another, because I'm perfectly fine if this control board thing needs, the control board, I think absolutely is something they have to have. I truly do.
Oh, I'm not.
And I don't have a problem with getting it through CEDIT, but if it's already funded, then,
But I think the fund that they chose is not gonna have enough money in it.
What's the delivery?
but we can't go over their heads. We can't,
Oh, no,
we
they can
can't
overspend
say
it all.
I
that,
think it's
And
first
they got
half
more
of the
money
year,
coming in
it's
next year,
out
so.
quite a bit, yeah.